Good evening. My name is Chuck Banning. I'm a sports editor at The Day. I've been here for 20 plus years, and I can't tell you how excited our staff is to be able to put this on for the first time. It's our inaugural High School Athlete of the Year Awards Banquet, and we hope it turns from inaugural to annual. And it was fun to put together. Not always easy. When we get together each season to pick awards, it's probably one of the most difficult things we do, because in many instances there's so many quality kids to choose from. But it's also the most rewarding thing we do, because then we get to tell your story. And 3 times a year, in the spring, in the fall, the winter, and spring, we get to tell your stories. And it's not just about you as athletes. Your accomplishments are well known, but we get to tell about your involvement in school, your involvement in the community, for seniors where they're moving on from here. So we take great pride in that. We know our readership always looks forward to that, and this is kind of the icing on the cake for us, because now we actually get to honor you in a celebration, and we're all here breaking bread together. Before we get started, I just would like to call the president and publisher of The Day, Tim Dwyer, to give an official welcome from the paper. Tim has been at the paper, I believe, for 15 years now. He was my boss as the executive editor, and then just a couple months ago, he was named president and publisher of The Day. Personally, for the sports staff, it was a breath of fresh air. He's a sports guy originally. He's worked at some major metropolitan papers. He covered events around the world, including Olympic Games, and he was thrilled to be able to come back to his New England roots and be our executive editor. And now he's our president and publisher. So if you could say hello to Tim Dwyer, and he's going to give you a couple of words. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming to the Day's inaugural Athlete of the Year dinner. It's nice to see you all. We're grateful that you've come out to honor the outstanding athletes, student athletes in our communities. Maybe the athletes here tonight can stand and we can give them a round of applause. Okay, don't sit down, please. Remaining standing here. The athletes, please stand up. Now, I'd like to ask the athletes to give the parents and families and coaches a round of applause for all the support they've given them on the journey that led them here tonight. Thank you. You can sit down now. As Chuck said, I've been at The Day for 13 years. I've been publisher for a couple of months, to kind of a change from being the editor. Before I worked at The Day, I worked at the Washington Post, the Philadelphia Inquirer, and the Boston Globe. Most journalists start at small papers and work their way up to big papers. I started at big papers and worked my way up to The Day. I love living in the area, and I love school and community sports. Tonight we have great rivals sitting here together, celebrating a year of high school sports. And all the high schools have devoted, spirited, and vocal fans. I know a little bit something about spirited fans. I was a sports columnist in Philadelphia. And the Philadelphia fans, well, they're kind of special. I was at an Eagles game one Sunday, and at halftime, a couple got married on the 50-yard line. They put them up on the Jumbotron, and as the camera zoomed in on the bride, all the Eagles fans stood up and booed. They booed the bride. They booed Santa Claus one year, too, while they were throwing snowballs at them. So we're lucky to have polite but vibrant fans. Now, I just want to say a few words about The Day. I know most of you are aware of the day's special ownership, but I just want to say a few words about it. We're a locally owned independent media company. We're a local business, just like the local pizza shop, a landscaping business, or farm stand. We're owned by a trust, and we are a for-profit company. We donate our profits each year to the community. Since the trust was formed over 50 years ago, we've donated more than $3 million to the community. Like any other local business, we need your support. We do a great job covering high school sports, not only in the newspaper, but with Game Day, and Game Day is here tonight. I think many of you have heard of Game Day, being involved in high school sports. We do live high school sporting events, we do video features, and we do highlight films where we mic up the coaches during the game and then put it in the highlight film. All of that is available to anyone for free, but it isn't free to produce it. So if you like what we do with high school sports, do business with us. This could mean anything from buying ads in the paper to owning a newspaper subscription or a digital subscription. Did you know that a great gift for a graduating student athlete is a digital subscription to theday.com so that they can follow their high schools when they go off to their college campuses? If you already do support us, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. That concludes the pandering part of our program. Let's get on with the awards. Thank you very much.
Okay, now we're going to like to introduce our guest speaker for this evening. When we were contemplating who we'd like to bring in for the very first time, we felt it was important to bring back a former student athlete from our area and a former player of the year from our area who went on to excel not only at another level but now in a professional life. And Heather Buck's name immediately came to mind. Heather really has been the center of attention, literally, since she stepped on the basketball court at Stonington High School. She was a 4-year starter, a 4-year All-Stater. She was the 2-time Connecticut Gatorade Player of the Year, and she was our All-Area Player of the Year 3 straight years. As also many of you know, she then went on to UConn, spent 5 years because she redshirted a year because of an injury, and during her 5 seasons at UConn, she went to a Final Four all 5 times and was part of 3 national championship teams. She also graduated with a degree in nursing, which she's really put to good use. She works for Connecticut Children's in Hartford, and she also volunteers. In fact, she had a hustle to get here today because she spends her summers volunteering at the Hole in the Wall camp in Ashford, which is for kids with different issues from cancer and other things that set them back, to try to give them a special great experience over the summer. And she's been doing that for a number of summers now. So we're thrilled that she could make it. She was a recent inductee into the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, a recent inductee into the Stonington High School Athletic Hall of Fame. And she's one of our own. And I think we should all be proud of her and what she's gone on to do. And I know she's looking forward to addressing you all tonight. So I introduce you to Heather Buck from Stonington High School.
Hello. Give me a sec. I think that will probably work. better than trying to adjust the stand at all. So I would first just like to thank the day for putting together this event. It really is a phenomenal evening for all of you to get to come together and spend some time with your counterparts in other sports. And I really appreciate that wonderful introduction, Chuck. So I am, as he said, very happy to be here with a group of such accomplished young athletes. I really do. I hope that you are able to just sit back, enjoy, and relax a little bit as your school years have hopefully ended by now, even with whatever delays and things that have been added on. So I hope that you're able to relax, but don't relax too much, because I do hope that I can pass along just a little bit of knowledge that I've picked up along the way. So before we jump into any of that, though, a big congratulations is due for all of you. You are clearly, being here, you are clearly at the top of your sport. You've demonstrated skill in your field. You've challenged yourselves to meet challenges from coaches, teammates, opponents, and to rise to meet those. You have athletic ability, certainly, but really what sets the best apart from everybody else is all of the intangibles. It's the drive to succeed, it's patience to continue to work at turning a weakness into a strength, and supporting teammates, inspiring them to be the best that they can be as well. And I only ever played basketball. So most of you have excelled in sports that I couldn't even pretend to compete in. It would not be pretty. But the qualities that I'm mentioning are things that transcend an individual sport. They are true, they're assets in every sport. You can see them from the court to the field, from a pool to a rink. They serve you no matter where you are, and they will continue to serve you as you go on through life. When I was playing in high school, it really was, it's only a 1-season sport, but for me it was really like a 3.5-season sport. I never had a real job because of it. I babysat sometimes. I would coach at camps, and that was really all that I had for work experience. Even after college, that was still all I had. I coached at a few more camps. They were a little bit bigger, had a little bit bigger names. So when I looked at my career and I was done and had to go on to get an actual real job, I was really nervous because I was going into this without any experience. My job had been to be on time, to have completed all my workouts that I was supposed to have done at home, to be prepared for the season, to know the plays, to work as hard as I could. And that was how I had paid my college bills when some of my friends had actual jobs. So I thought about it a little bit more. And I realized that actually I really did have a lot of experience in areas that they were looking for. It turned out I wrote my cover letter for my job that I currently have. I wrote it about the parallels between athletics and an emergency department. That analogy won't work for all of you, wherever you end up. But I am sure, I'm confident that you will find correlations that you can capitalize on, similarities between sports and your future workplace. At a minimum, you'll be able to draw on the experiences that you have as you interview, and then as you continue on through life and through your career. I recognize that for some of you, it will be a while before you're faced with taking those next steps after sports, but we all will have to face the end of our career. Whether you are still at the start of your high school career, or you know that you'll be headed on to college, or you're lucky enough to be part of that 2% of college athletes that do get to continue on and play professionally, someday you'll be standing there, your bag will be packed, your career will be done, and you'll be headed home for that last time. And whether that time has already come, or it's in 2 years or 10 years, it's never really too early to start thinking about what it is that interests you beyond athletics. Some of you may already know, but some of you may have never really considered that. Your sport will never go away. It always remains a part of you. Even though I really only play basketball very occasionally, it is still certainly a part of my life. I still look like this. I still walk into a room with a patient and they look at me and they go, what are you doing here? You should be out playing basketball. That never changes, that never goes away. But the way that basketball used to fill my cup and bring me joy, I have now a career that I'm passionate about. I have a charity that Chuck was mentioning, the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp, that I get to volunteer at, and sometimes I get to actually work and they pay me. But it's a place where I love to spend time. I'm drawn to them. I'm drawn to their mission, to their ultimate goals. And I have friends who were former teammates, but then I also have friends who never played any kind of organized sport at all. And those are the things that I find joy in now. Those are the things that truly fill my cup now. So start thinking about some of those things and what they might be for you. Wherever you end up, and no matter what you end up doing, you will always be a part of a team. So the skills that you've learned, the skills that you've honed being a teammate in high school will continue to serve you forever. We might call them coworkers or managers, family, friends, but ultimately those people are our team. So we work together. We have a shared goal, and that really is the definition of a team. You have to be a good teammate. You have to build up others at times. Sometimes you might get to be the leader. Sometimes you're just kind of playing a role quietly. But no matter what, those dynamics of that team are going to be similar to the teams that you were just on this year. Wins and losses are not quite as clear after you are done with sports and the rest of life. But you always respond with grace to those situations, same as you have now. When you enter adulthood, there are, unfortunately, not magically bestowed upon you any special answers. So you'll continue to use your ability to analyze actions, correct techniques, and improve your communication as you move forward to achieve a better outcome the next time you're in a similar situation. We're all just learning from our past experiences and trying to make the best decisions that we can make with all of the facts that we've been presented with. And this really might be a little bit surprising, but actually, life does not always demand that you put in your best. There are times where you are able to coast. But up to this point, when you've put in more, when you've put in your full effort, you've been able to accomplish more. And the same goes when you continue on with whatever it is that you continue with. There will be times where you will need to be your own greatest motivator because less than your best may be enough for the people who are judging you from the outside, but you have to decide if that's enough for you to be happy. I'm not here to tell you that these are the best days of your life. They are really, really awesome. But there will be a lot of other special days in your life. There'll be days where you get your first job, where you get married, you get a new apartment, you move out on your own, whatever it is for you. There will be those other days that are really phenomenal, that are best days. But when you're in high school, it's really packed in there. You have a lot of really special days in a short amount of time, and I do hope that they don't become routine, that you are savoring all of these moments like tonight, the times that you've had at your school, the really special games that you've had that you've won, the moments that you've lost but you've come together as a team. All of those times, I hope that you're storing them away and you hold on to them for the times that you need to look back and be reminded of how awesome you really are and how awesome you can be. So, you guys really, truly are amazingly talented. I'm very impressed with all of the things that I've heard about you all accomplishing this year and in other years and what you're moving on to next. And all of those things that you've done are because of all these qualities that come from within. But I do hope that you all realize that you owe at least some part of your success to at least one other person. And those of you who are here from Stonington have heard me say this before, but I'm saying it again because I truly do think that it's really important. I want you all to take a moment and think about a coach who pushed you, who saw something in you that you hadn't seen yet. A parent that supported you in your decision to participate in sports, helped you get what you needed, get to practice on time, made sure that you were staying safe. A sibling that allowed you to practice with them out in the yard, at home, a neighbor who took time to show that they were interested in what you were doing, that made you feel like people outside of your immediate family cared about what you were doing. Think about a best friend, even just a friend at school who was able to support you and get you through a time that was a little bit tough. A teacher, an administrator who encouraged you to get involved or helped you just figure out how to get everything done on time that you needed to do. So take some time, really consider who those people are that are in your life. And don't do it right now, but when it feels right, if it's later tonight, if it's next week, if it's in 3 months, take some time and thank those people specifically for what they've done in your life, because it will serve you as well as it will serve them, honestly. And for all your success, even though there are all those other people who are involved and who helped get you here, you guys have done tons to get you here. So congratulations to you. I hope that you are proud of all that you've accomplished this year, in other years, what you're looking forward to in the future. And in addition to what you've learned independently, I do hope that you picked up some small wisdom tonight that you will carry on with you. And I look forward to seeing what happens in these couple of awards that are going to be presented. So best of luck to all of you in all of your future endeavors, whether they be athletic, academic, professional, personal, whatever they are, and good luck to all of you tonight.
I should say that Heather's not the only tall person in the room. You may have noticed she was accompanied by her husband tonight, Jimmy Bennett, who played football at UConn, 6'9", offensive tackle, is here tonight. And I just wanted to acknowledge him for a couple reasons, because he was a 4-time academic selection as a Big East academic pick. And then his senior year, he was an academic All-American. So in addition to being an outstanding football player, he also took care of things on the academic end. So Jimmy, maybe you can just wave or stand up and be acknowledged. Thank you. Okay, before we get rolling here, just a couple of housekeeping things. At the end of all the award presentations, we are going to ask the athletes to stick around for a couple minutes. We do want to take some group shots in the back of the room where our banner is. And so once we're done here, if you could gather real quick, we'll try to get you in and out of here. I know it's a long night, but this is something we like to do because the plan is we are going to put a selection of photos from tonight up on the website, theday.com, on Friday. And we are also videotaping the event tonight, when that will be up probably later tonight or first thing in the morning. And our videographer, Peter Hoppy, is in the back of the room, and I'd like to acknowledge him for the work he does as well. As a little side note, we were donated some tickets by the Connecticut Tigers and the Mystic Aquarium. So we threw some names into a raffle and picked them. And at the end of the night, you're going to get 4 free tickets to one of the 2 places. I'm going to announce one of the names now, and then they can see Jackie Nardone from our staff, who's right here right now, but she'll be wandering around later. So the first person to win 4 tickets to a Connecticut Tigers game is Cassie Fletcher, the new London Athletic Director. So as I begin introducing the athletes, we're going to go from fall to spring. I will name you first, but maybe wait until we're finished to come on up, and I'm going to have a member of our staff to present each one. I'll have you come up this way and exit that way. I'd like to first recognize from my staff, Vicki Fulkerson, our Scholastic Sports Editor, who's going to help me present the awards. If you haven't seen Vicki at one of your sporting events the last 4 years, something's wrong, because she's everywhere. So, who are the athletes we're going to honor tonight? They come from 9 of the 13 schools in our coverage area. 1 is a freshman, 2 are sophomores, 1's a junior, 19 are seniors. We have multiple sport athletes. We have 2 sport athletes, 3 sport athletes. We have seniors who will be attending Division I schools in the fall, Division II schools, Division III schools, and even community college. But all are going to continue their education in this fall. So we're going to start with the fall sports, and we're going to begin with our Athlete of the Year in football, is Jacob Commander from New London. Jacob was a Class L All-State selection this year as a linebacker. He was a 3-time ECC Division I All-Star selection. He's a 2-time member of the Days All-Area team. And this season, he rushed for 1,307 yards, averaged 7 yards a carry, scored 10 touchdowns. He won't admit this, but he played the last half of the season on a bum leg and never complained about it, but fought his way through it. He even threw 2 touchdown passes when New London's quarterback was hurt late in the season. Just an all-around team player, and he's our football Athlete of the Year. Next is our swimmer of the year, Athlete of the Year, is Ella Dijak from Waterford. Ella is only a sophomore, but she is already a 2-time All-State selection in the 200 and 500 freestyle. She was the 2017 Class S champion in the 500 freestyle. She was a 2-time Swimmer of the Year at the ECC Championship meet. She's already set school records in the 500 freestyle at the State Open, and she was also our Player of the Year last year. So she's on a roll. It's 2 down and with 2 years to go. Ella Dijak. Our Athlete of the Year in volleyball is East Lyme's Sydney Ayatuno. And I think I got that right, Sydney. Sydney was a Class L first-team All-State selection, a 3-time ECC first-team All-Star. This year she had 431 kills, the second highest percentage in the state, while also leading East Lyme in aces with 69 and hitting percentage with 334. She was going to be continuing her volleyball career this fall at Simmons College Division III school in Boston. Next is our girls soccer Athlete of the Year, Lyme's Mya Johnson. Mya is a 2-time All-New England selection, a 3-time Class S All-State selection, a 3-time selection as our Athlete of the Year. In her 4 years at Lyme, she won 4 state championships. She finished her career with a school record 101 goals, scoring her 100th and 101st goal in the state championship game, a 2-1 comeback win over Immaculate. And those around here are lucky to know that she's going to not travel too far for her college life. She is going to be attending Division III Connecticut College right here in New London in the fall. So we look forward to seeing some more. Our boys soccer Athlete of the Year is Stonington's Jamison McGowan. Jamison was a 2018 All-New England selection and a 2018 Class M All-State selection. He scored 18 goals and had 17 assists as a midfielder this year, leading Stonington to a 19-3 record, the ECC Division I title, and a berth in the Class M state semifinals. He finished his career with 40 goals and 32 assists. He will also continue his career next year at Division II Assumption College in Worcester, Mass. Our girls cross country Athlete of the Year is Montville senior Mady Whitaker. Mady was the 2017 ECC champion and the 2018 runner-up. She is a 4-time ECC All-Star, a 4-time State Open qualifier, and a 4-time All-Area selection. She's also a 3-time selection as the day's Athlete of the Year in girls cross country. This year, she also led Montville to its first ECC divisional team title since 2000, and her 2017 individual ECC title was the first by a Montville runner since 1985. Mady will be attending Division III Salve Regina in lovely Newport this fall. Okay, our boys cross-country athlete of the year is East Lyme senior Sam Whitaker. Sam won the 2018 Class MM State Championship, was the 2017 ECC champion, and he has been our cross-country athlete of the year 2 times. He led East Lyme to back-to-back ECC and Class M State team championships in 2017 and 2018. He's also a distance runner in track and field, both indoors and outdoors, and he will compete this fall at Division I Bucknell University in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. One of our athletes from the fall could not be in attendance with us tonight, but I would like to recognize her and read her list of accomplishments, and that's our field hockey player of the year, Stonington's Amanda Aruda. She's a 2-time selection as the day's All-Area Athlete of the Year in field hockey. She's also a 3-sport athlete at Stonington, also starring in basketball and softball. She led Stonington to a 17-2-2 record in 2008 and a berth in the Class S state semifinals. She scored 27 goals and had 9 assists this season, finished her career with 60 goals and 20 assists. She will be attending Division I Seton Hall this fall and is hoping to walk on to their softball team. And next, I'd like to call up Mike DeMoro, our assistant editor, sports editor, and columnist, to help me present the Winter Awards. And I'd also like to announce that Daniel Marcolona has won 4 tickets to Mystic Aquarium. So Daniel, see Jackie Nardone right here in front after the banquet to pick those tickets up. Okay, starting off, our Winter Awards. In indoor girls track and field, our All-Area Athlete of the Year is East Lyme senior Julia Bates. Julia was really a unique selection for us because it's rare that we acknowledge someone who just pretty much exclusively runs relays, but when you hear why, you'll understand. She ran the anchor leg on 2 Class L state championship relay teams, the 4x800 and the sprint medley relay. She ran on anchor leg on the state open championship sprint medley relay team and ran on 3 ECC Division I winning relay teams, all running the anchors. She's also a 3-sport athlete, plays field hockey and lacrosse. She's been part of 10 ECC championship teams, a state championship this spring with the East Lyme lacrosse team, and she will be playing field hockey. I'm sorry, she'll be playing lacrosse, I believe, lacrosse at Division III Mount Union in Ohio this fall. Our boys basketball athlete of the year is Waterford senior J.J. Brennan. JJ was the 2019 class Division II All-State pick. He was an ECC Division I All-Star and was named the most outstanding player of the ECC tournament. The senior guard led Waterford to a 26-1 record in the Division II state title, Waterford's 2nd straight state championship, while averaging just under 25 points a game. Like Mya, JJ will also be staying close to home in the fall. He'll be attending and playing basketball at Division III Mitchell College right here in New London. Our our all-area athlete of the year in wrestling, we welcome back Jacob Commander from New London. Jacob is a 2-time Class L champion, a 3-time ECC champion. He finished 3rd in the State Open this winter and 3rd in the New England Championships. He's also a senior. As you mentioned earlier, he was our All-Area Athlete of the Year in football, and he will continue to play both sports at Division II American International College in Springfield, Mass. Our Gymnastics Athlete of the Year is Old Lyme's Brittany Tatuzzi. Brittany is a 3-time All-State pick. She was the 2019 Shoreline Conference all-around champion in their inaugural conference meet. She won all 4 individual events at the Shoreline Conference Championships, and she finished 3rd in the floor exercise at the State Open. She won all-around honors in 8 of her 10 meets during the regular season and qualified to participate in the New England meet. She will be attending Salve Regina in Newport also next fall. Our Swimmer of the Year is Fitch's John Marcolina. John was the Class LL champion in the 100-yard freestyle this year and the runner-up in the 50 freestyle. He was also the State Open runner-up in the 50 freestyle. He was a 2-time ECC championship swimmer of the meet. He won 2 individual events and was part of 2 winning relay teams at this year's ECC championship meet. He's been the Day's Athlete of the Year in swimming for the 3rd straight season, and he too will be continuing his career at Division III Bates College in Lewiston, Maine. I'm not done yet, Mike. Yeah, a couple, 2 more actually. Our girls basketball athlete of the year is New London's Tiana Pagan. Tiana averaged 12.7 points, 10.9 rebounds, 3.8 blocks, and 2.5 steals, and was a 2019 Class LL All-State pick. She was a 2-time ECC Division I All-Star and a 2-time ECC All-Tournament pick. She led New London to a 25-3 record this year, the ECC tournament title, and a runner-up finish in the Class L state championship game. She played in the state finals 3 of her 4 seasons at Mohegan Sun Arena, making it her personal home, winning a Class LL title in 2017. She has also accepted an offer to continue her career at Division II Post University in Waterbury. Our indoor boys track and field athlete of the year is also a familiar face, East Lyme's Sam Whitaker. Sam won the Class L state championship in the 1600 meter race and was a member of East Lyme's Class L champion 4x800 meter relay team. He also won the 1000, the 1600, and the 3200 at the ECC Division I meet. Again, he will be continuing his career at Bucknell University, a Division I school in Pennsylvania, in the fall. We also had one athlete who was unable to attend tonight, and that is our hockey athlete of the year, Evan Tower, who played for the Eastern Connecticut Eagles but attends East Lyme High School. Evan, a junior, was a 2019 Division II All-State pick and was the 2019 Nutmeg Conference first-team pick. He led the Eagles in both goals and assists. He scored over 100 points the past 2 seasons and was a key player when the Eagles won their first state championship in 2018. Evan Tower. Okay, before we present the Spring Awards, another raffle winner won 4 tickets to see a Connecticut Tigers game, Rick Johnson. To present the Spring Awards, I'd like to call Gavin Keefe from our staff. Gavin is our collegiate writer, but also pitches in on just about everything, including the high schools. And he's had a busy day already, because I'm sure you all heard about UConn returning to the Big East. And he was in stores this morning and will be in New York tomorrow morning. So we're glad he could join us real quick to help us present the Spring Awards. Our Athlete of the Year in softball is Norwich Free Academy's Bailey Como. Bailey was an ECC Division I All-Star and a Class LL All-State pick. She was also a Class LL All-State academic pick. She led NFA to the ECC Division I title, in the ECC Tournament Championship, and a berth in the Class LL Final, where they finished as runner-ups. She really was impressive as both a pitcher and a hitter. As a pitcher, she was 18-3 with a 1.31 ERA with 215 strikeouts and 140 innings. Opponents hit just 127 against her. As a hitter, she batted .418 with 41 hits, 10 doubles, 3 home runs, and 28 RBIs. She will be continuing her career at Division III Drew University in Madison, New Jersey. Our Athlete of the Year in girls tennis is our lone freshman, Stonington's Maddie Hom. She arrived on the scene at Stonington and immediately took charge and then played the #1 singles spot. She was the ECC Division I All-Star and won the ECC Singles Championship. Did not lose a single set in the regular season and also went unbeaten in the regular season. She stepped into the #1 spot because Gabby Delacono, our 3-time Athlete of the Year in tennis, suffered a season-ending injury and couldn't play this year. But Maddie was more than up to the task and helped Stonington to another memorable season. Our Athlete of the Year in boys lacrosse is Waterford's Caleb Holdridge. Caleb is our Athlete of the Year for the 2nd straight year. He's also a 3-time All-State selection, and this year he made the All-American team. He finished his career with 242 goals, 230 assists for 472 points. He led Waterford to their first victory over East Lyme in program history during the regular season, and then another win over the Vikings to give Waterford its first ECC tournament championship. He too will be staying local in the fall. He will continue his career at the Coast Guard Academy here in London. And unfortunately, that means that lovely hair is going to be gone soon, huh? Our Athlete of the Year in golf is another Waterford athlete, senior Ryan Sadowski. Ryan was an ECC Division II All-Star, a CIAC Division II All-State pick. He was the only local player to qualify for the State Open, where he finished tied for 14th. He was the top local finisher in the Division II State meet, tying for 10th, and then he shot a 75 and tied for 11th at the New England Championship. He also shot two under par rounds during the regular season, a pair of 2 under 33s, including a big win over Killingly, which had a winning streak of like 100 straight or something like that. So quite the year. He will be attending Florida Gulf Coast to study PGA management and is considering trying out for the golf team as a walk-on. Our Athlete of the Year in boys track is Norwich Free Academy senior Jaheim Spruill. Jaheim was a jack of all trades for the Wildcats. He finished 3rd in the Open and State Open in the high jump. He was 3rd in the long jump and triple jump and 4th in the high jump in the Class L State Championship meet to help NFA finish 2nd in the team standings. He won the high jump and the long jump while placing 2nd in the triple jump at the ECC Championships to help NFA win the team title. His season bests were 6 feet 4 inches in the high jump, 21 feet 10 inches in the long jump, and 44 feet 2 inches in the triple jump. He also played wide receiver and defensive back for NFA's ECC Division I Championship football team. He will be attending Three Rivers Community College and hopes to transfer to a 4-year program to continue his track and field career. Our baseball athlete of the year is Ledyard senior Ken Turner. Ken was an ECC Division II All-Star, a Class M All-State pick, who as a pitcher was 5-1 with a 0.73 ERA, 11 walks, and 73 strikeouts in only 38 innings. He's also a three-sport athlete and was an ECC All-Star in soccer as a goalie and in basketball. Turner, which Ken, we're going to give a little scoop tonight, had accepted a scholarship offer to Division I University of Hartford, but he was also drafted in the 20th round of the Major League Draft by the Texas Rangers last week. He told us tonight he's opting for college first, so he'll be attending the University of Hartford in the fall. Congratulations. Unfortunately, we had 3 athletes in the spring that were unable to make it tonight, but I would still like to recognize them as well. Our athlete of the year in boys tennis is Lyme sophomore George Daines. George went unbeaten during the regular season. He won the Shoreline Conference Singles Championship and reached the Class S state singles semifinals before suffering his only loss of the year. He has never lost a regular season match in 2 seasons at Lyme, and as a freshman, he teamed up with Morgan Greenhow to win the Class S double titles in 2018. He's a 2-time Class S All-State pick and a 2-time State Open qualifier. Lyme's George Daines. Our athlete of the year in girls lacrosse is Stonington senior Kate Johnson. Kate was a Class S All-State pick as a midfielder. She finished the season with 84 goals, 44 assists, and 128 points, which was a single-season school record. She also had a draw percentage of .584. She was an ECC Division II first-team All-Star in lacrosse and basketball, plus an honorable mention choice in soccer. She led Stonington to an 18-4 record, the ECC Division II title at 7th straight, a spot in the ECC tournament final, and a trip to the Class S state final. She will be continuing her career next year at Division I Stetson University in DeLand, Florida. Our final spring athlete who couldn't be here tonight was our girls track and field athlete of the year, Northfield Academy senior Allison Lewis. Allison finished 7th in the nation in the high jump at the New Balance Nationals in Greensboro, North Carolina, clearing 5 feet, 8 3/4 inches. She was also the New England runner-up in the high jump. She was the state open champ in the high jump, 3rd in the long jump. She was the Class L champ in the high jump and long jump, and 4th in the 200. And during the ECC championship meet, she won the high jump, long jump, and 200, tying a meet record in the high jump and setting a meet record in the long jump, and only the 2nd time she participated in the event this season. She was also named the State Field Athlete of the Year by the Connecticut High School Coaches Association. She led NFA to its 3rd straight ECC championship, and she's also been the Day's Athlete of the Year in 2018, as well as the Day's Athlete of the Year in indoor track in 2017 and 18. She couldn't be here tonight because she's already started school. She's accepted a scholarship to attend Division I Penn State University. Okay, before we present our final awards of the night, I'm going to read the final raffle winner, and they too will win 4 tickets to Mystic Aquarium. Jackson Alloway. I'd also like to call our publisher, Tim Dwyer, back to the stage to present the final 4 awards. Something we wanted to do for a long time, and we felt that this banquet provided us that great opportunity. It was to award an overall athlete of the year in both boys and girls sports, as well as a coach of the year in both sports. So hence, we're doing it. And I'd like to thank Sporties of Waterford for sponsoring these trophies tonight. I'm going to name the athlete, but I want you to hold your applause a minute because I'd like to tell you a little bit more about them from words from their coaches or athletic directors. Our athlete of the year for boys sports is New London's Jacob Commander. We've certainly heard of all his accomplishments in wrestling and in football. And I could tell you in wrestling, someone who's kind of grown up along that sport, he had great aspirations to win a state open championship and a New England championship. and he was not upset, but he lost in the quarterfinals of both events. For those of you who know wrestling or been to wrestling, there's probably nothing worse than having to wrestle back out of the consolation bracket to try to come back in tournament place. And he came back on both those Saturdays and won 4 straight meets. And in the State Open, he avenged his loss in the quarterfinals to finish 3rd in both events. His coach said, as Coach Mike Gordon said, I gave him the option not to continue, even though he knew he wouldn't give up. I told him, you don't have to finish this. I know your goal is to win. He looked at me like I was an idiot, and that made me feel good. His football coach, Johnny Burns, I had the opportunity to watch Jacob grow from things he was doing at the youth level. Obviously, at my first year at high school, I got front row seats to his senior year. He did it the right way. He didn't run from the hard work. He's one of those players where you love it when your best player is winning the wind sprints. He regularly was the hardest worker at practice on top of being the best player in the team. When that's the case, you know you have somebody special. We certainly had an MVP player on the field, and it wasn't difficult to figure out who it was. We tried to make the best out of his usage. He gave us so many options. It really couldn't have been much better in terms of really having someone of his caliber and what he brought. We never had to beg him for anything. He was going to bring it. He's got such a great disposition. When he speaks, his teammates listen. He doesn't overspeak, but all of a sudden, when he goes into a speech, people's antennas go up. Ladies and gentlemen, our Athlete of the Year in boys sports, New London's Jacob Commander. And he is determined to play both sports in college, so we wish him well. Our Athlete of the Year in girls sports is O-Lyme senior Mya Johnson. We certainly mentioned all her accolades early, but just to repeat, she led her team to 4 straight state championships. And if anybody saw her in the postseason this year, she was wearing a bulky ankle brace. She sprained her ankle on senior day, ironically, and played hurt throughout the postseason, but still helped will O-Lyme to another state championship. In the semifinals, she scored all 3 goals in a win over East Hampton. And then in the finals, losing 1-0, she scored both goals in the second half, which were her 100th and 101st of her career, to bring O-Lyme back to complete the four-peat. Her coach, Paul Gleason, we're pretty proud of her here in Little O-Lyme. She's kind of a special kid. People have brought up what it would be like not having Mya this year. It's like when Robert E. Lee was told that Stonewall Jackson was wounded and lost his left arm in the Civil War, and Lee said, Jackson may have lost his left arm, but I've lost my right arm. I reflect on that all the time. I think she's going to have a great time at Conn College. Mya is cut from stone. There is someone I think could be a great coach, someone I'd like to see inherit the program, to be honest with you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mya Johnson. Our Coach of the Year in boys sports is Waterford basketball coach Bill Bassett. All Bill did was lead Waterford to back-to-back ECC tournament titles, winning the 2019 state championship at Mohegan Sun Arena, and back-to-back state titles, winning the Division III championship in 2018, then moving up to Division II and beating New Britain to win again in 2019, despite losing some key seniors, including the program's most prolific scorer, Mikey Bassett, to graduation. The last 2 seasons, Waterford is 51-3. They're 90-13 in the last 4 seasons, with 4 ECC divisional titles to go along with the 2 ECC tournament titles and the 2 state championships. Athletic Director Chris Landry. Bill is an excellent coach. One of the things that makes any coach great is that they know how to develop positive relationships with each individual player to get the most out of them as an athlete, a player, and most importantly, a person. Coach Bassett does that on a daily basis. He and his staff do a great job, and the student athletes and their success is fed off his leadership. He's a model coach for Waterford High School and has shown that promoting team-first basketball and developing those relationships leads to trust, respect, and a high level of play on the court. You cannot measure a high school coach's success solely by championship banners on the wall. However, back-to-back championships is pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Bassett, Waterford High School. Bill, I am a little disappointed, though, you didn't wear your plaid checkered shirt that you wore throughout the state championship games because you were... Oh, okay, there you go. Congratulations, Bill. Our final award tonight is the Coach of the Year in Girls Sports, and we've selected Lyme's Paul Gleason, the soccer coach. Again, like Mya, he guided Lyme to 4 consecutive Class S state championships, including that comeback win in this year's title game against Immaculate. It was one of the most improbable ones, I think he'd admit, because the Wildcats came in as the number 14 seed, which was for them a lackluster regular season, going only 8-4-4. But they played the entire postseason and with a special flair and were able to bring home their 4th state title. Mya Johnson, the senior, said, "Wow, I could write pages about how awesome it was to have Gleason as a coach, but I'll try to keep it short. The best part about having Mr. Gleason as a coach was that he was so much more than just a regular high school soccer coach. He cared so much about all his players, and not just if we were winning or losing. He cared about our futures, our families, our school life, and always made sure academics came before soccer, as hard as that might be for most high schoolers to realize. It didn't take long for Mr. Gleason to become family, and the best part about it is that I know I can call him or his daughter at any time, whether I have a problem or maybe I just want to learn something that no one else in the world knows about. Mr. Gleason will always have an answer." Ladies and gentlemen, Lyme girls soccer coach Paul Gleason. Well, we breezed through that, which is excellent, so you may all get to enjoy a lovely sunset behind you. But that brings the conclusion to this, our first award ceremony. Again, I can't tell you how special it was for our staff and our paper to be able to do this and acknowledge you and celebrate your achievements this year. And I hope this becomes an annual event. I would like to thank Jackie Nardone down in front, who did all the behind-the-scenes work to help us pull this off. And she deserves to be recognized. Jackie? So that's going to bring us to a conclusion. Again, I'd just like to remind the athlete award winners to gather in the back in a couple of minutes. We have a photographer. We're going to try to get some group shots of everybody, and so we can get them up online later in the week for people who might would like to purchase them. And again, we thank you all for coming. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope this becomes a regular event. Thank you and good night.